We'll have to do a training on that. Anyways, well, hello, everybody. My name is Harlequin Murray, and it is Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So that means that Team Winn is getting together again. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. For those of you who are new here this evening, I especially want to give you a warm welcome. Welcome to the team. We're excited that you're here. And for those of you who are returning members, we're excited you're here too. And those of you who are listening on replay, we love you just the same. I know not everybody is able to be on here at this time, and Ellen's sitting there laughing at me. But anyways, speaking of Miss Ellen Winn, she is our senior team leader and a very good friend of mine that I've known for many years. But for those of you who don't know who she is, and especially for the new people here, just a little bit of her background. She is originally from Dallas, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta. She grew up on a very large family farm out there, and she lives there now on that property, or on a part of that property. But whenever she got out of school, she went to work in the restaurant industry and worked in that industry for many years. She worked her way up on the corporate side with Domino's Pizza, doing as a district director and a training manager, and helped teach people how to run Domino's Pizza restaurants. But then she decided that, you know what, I don't want to work the corporate life anymore. I want to work on my own. So she went and opened up her own pizza restaurant, and actually ended up having 2 different locations. And after a while, somebody introduced her to network marketing. And she was like, you know, this is a pretty good idea. And she has been in network marketing pretty much ever since. That's how I met her back about 18 years ago. She was my upline in another company, and she was actually the national training director for that company as well. So she's got a strong history of business ownership, network marketing, and training. And so we are very fortunate to have her as our leader, and I'm fortunate to have her as a friend. But in DAC, she's been with the company for a little over 5 years. I've been with the company for a little over 4. And in that time period, she is the first person out in the field to become an area director. If you're new here tonight and you don't know what area director is, go through the training and you'll find out. But I know David's been talking about area director on the last couple of corporate Zooms. But anyways, without further ado, Miss Ellen Winn, can you go ahead and take it away?
Absolutely. Thank you, Harlequin. As I always say, I love listening to that walk down memory lane. What a fun time we have had together, and some great adventures in business, and also doing some fun things on the side, like the day we went and drove the Porsches at your invitation. That was a fun outing that day. We've gone on golf outings. We've taken some trips together, several trips together, one trip in an RV. A whole bunch of us from a team went down to Florida in an RV, and we were debating which company had the best compensation plan. So fun stuff, fun memories. Hey guys, thanks for taking time out of your Monday to be here. I'm excited that you're here, and I'm super blessed that I get to be your senior team leader. And I'm your senior team leader just because I've been here longer than anybody else. And there's really no one between me and David Allen Capital Corporate that is actively building David Allen Capital at this time. So as you look at your upline lineage, which you can really only see your sponsor in the back office, I am the ranking field leader here with you guys. So every Monday, what we do on this team Zoom is we get together, we do some team recognition, and we got some cool recognition tonight. And then we do a little training segment, and then we go through question and answer. So if I cover anything that you have questions about, hold your thoughts on that. I'll take questions at the end. Probably going to be pretty brief tonight, but let me get us into screen share mode so I can go ahead and cover what I want to share with you. And we'll get that rolling right now. All right, and you're seeing We Fuel the American Dream, David Allen Capital, a world-class opportunity with a performance-based compensation plan. What does that mean? It simply means if you're going to get started with us, you have to perform and produce results if you're going to make money here. We're not like a lot of other companies where people pay to get started and then you make money off of what they pay to get started and so on. We are strictly based on team members getting clients, and the clients are what generates the revenue for the company, which in turn generates the revenue for us to get paid commission. So that's where the performance-based compensation comes in. I love that because nobody loses. Nobody has to pay anything to get started, and you don't have to worry about getting someone started in David Allen Capital and them not making their money back because there's nothing to spend up front. Now, in building your DAC business, you can make a significant income by bringing in personal clients and the residual revenue on that and personal client bonuses. I have a personally sponsored, very close friend of mine who helped one client get a employee retention tax credit back, and she earned over $14,000 on that one client. The business got back almost 400,000, 370 something thousand, I think, but a tremendous impact for that business and all that money coming back into their operation, and a tremendous impact on my friend who was my frontline DAC agent and got that big bonus. So the money is here if you're willing to go out and have some conversations. I always say we're a contact sport. You've got to have contact with people or you're not going to be successful here. But outside of building your DAC agency on your own, you can also earn more if you want to build a team. So let's go through some team recognition here. As I lead into that, remind everybody that when you build a team, you can earn enroller bonuses up to 50% income match on what the personal bonuses are of the people that you personally introduced to David Allen Capital. You can also earn leadership bonus overrides up to 50% on your extended open line agency network. And once you move on to area director and beyond, you can have permanent ownership coded group. So if you're familiar with what coding is, that means that you can never be coded out and nobody will ever be able to hit your same rank and start earning the money that would be getting paid to you. So that permanent ownership is tremendous in this compensation plan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. You'll figure it out when you start making money and you start realizing, going, oh, where did this come from? I didn't realize I was going to get this. How did I earn that? And then we can dig deep and you can really figure out where the money came from. All right. And the last way to make money in those personal enrollers is building residual income. When you're building a team, you get paid on 7 compressed levels where you match up to 30%. And then we also have a 7-level bump up where you can earn an extra 25% if you get to 1,000 or more in personal residual revenue. We'll touch on that in just a minute. But the bottom line is when you build teams, it multiplies your income potential big time. You can go out and get paid 100% for your own efforts, or you can earn a small percentage off of lots of other people's efforts. Like J. Paul Getty said, he'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of his own. Because when you've got other people that are building a business on their own and you're earning just a little bit of a match on that, there's a huge incentive for them to be successful because they're building their business, and an incentive for you to help them be successful because you're earning a percentage on that. That's why I take pride in being the senior team leader here and trying to be that driving force behind reminding people what we have going on, keeping the updates there, really diving in deep on the training so that that locomotion gets going and keeps going and going and going and going until you guys take off on your own and you become the leaders of your own teams and you're duplicating what I'm doing. Okay. But team building multiplies your income. So our top recruiters on team building for the week of 8/14 through 8/20. In first place, we had Midwest College of Theology come in. He is on a roll. He had 11 new agent recruits for the week. And these are people, he's not running ads. These are people that he knows he's reached out to personally and introducing them to David Allen Capital. So congratulations, Don, 11 new agent recruits for the week. In second place, we had DeMarcus Deshane Scott with 5 new agent recruits. Congratulations to you. In third place, we had Anthony Janis and Phoenix Rebirth International, both tied for third place with 4 new agent recruits. Congratulations to y'all. Fifth place, we had Dennis Robinson with 3 new agent recruits. Congratulations, Dennis. And in sixth place, we had a 4-way tie with Aisha Rocher, Ashield Hodge, Charisma Capital, and Chimdum Bidders LLC, each with 2 new agent recruits. So congratulations to everybody who made the leaderboard by name. You had to have at least 2 new recruits to be named on the leaderboard, but many of you had 1 new agent recruit. In fact, 30 agents in the whole team had at least 1 new agent recruit for the week. So good job there. Had a spike in the number of total recruits coming into the team. So next week, if your name's not on the board now and you had 1 recruit, shoot for having 2 new recruits next week. So your name will be on the leaderboard. And if you didn't have any recruits, shoot for having at least 1 next week. And also, I like to always say, if you are at least having conversations with people and you're not getting any recruits whatsoever, congratulations on getting the conversation started. Because as I said, this is a contact sport, and it really starts with you having conversations about our business, about our services, and about what we're doing here with DAC before you're going to get customers or before you're going to get any recruits to join you. You got to have those conversations and announce to the world what you're doing here. Okay. Let's see. And we also have rank and level advancing. Both are the same. Rank, you bump up in rank or you bump up in levels in the compensation plan. What it does is it positions you to earn more on bonus overrides and residual overrides. So we have 2 different ways that you can advance. Residuals are advancing more on team production, but the positions we're going to talk about tonight are specific on the bonus overrides, the bonus plan rank advancements, and specifically these first 3 ranks, DAC 1, DAC 2, and DAC 4. These first 3 ranks in the bonus plan, which if you look at the bonus plan document, it's page 5 in the compensation plan. This is where you promote yourself through the ranks by personally gathering customers, bonus customers. The bonus customers are found at the top of that document, which is fundings, ERCs, and other services with upfront bonus payouts. Okay. So tonight, and one more before we go, more details on those services that are eligible for that one-time bonus payout can be found on page 13 in the compensation document. So tonight, we're going to focus on 2 people who have promoted themselves through these bonus ranks by getting personal clients. And by getting themselves promoted, it positions them to earn bonus overrides on the team. So promote yourself, but now you're positioned to earn overrides on the bonus earnings of people in your team. So our first recognition is for Sonia C. Smith, LLC. Sonia got herself promoted to DAC 1 by having 1 client of 1,000 or more in personal revenue. Now Sonia is positioned to earn a 10% bonus income match on anybody in her team. If she's someone that she happens to personally enroll, she'll not only earn the 10% match, but she'll also earn either 10, 25, or 50% match for that personal enroller bonus. Now, she could earn nothing if this goes 60 days before before she gets another funding. There could be no income earned, but at least at this point, she's amped up. So if one of her personally enrolled agents got a funding next week, then Sonia would get a 50% match on that because that's what amped up bonuses are. and an additional 10%. So she would end up actually earning 60% match on personally enrolled agents as a DAC 1. Next, we have a new DAC 2, and that is David Cabrera. David got himself promoted to DAC 2 by having 2 new clients or more and having at least 2,000 in personal residual revenue. And just like the 10% match on a team, now David is at a 15% match on a team, enroller bonus plus 15% additional. If it's not a personally enrolled agent, David would still earn a 15% match if it was someone in the team, not under another DAC 2 or a DAC 1. So congratulations to both of you for rank advancing in the bonus plan. Okay. Now, as I said, team building multiplies your income potential, and residuals pay you month after month. What is a residual? Well, I learned a long time ago the value of bringing a client forward that buys a service or buys a product that bills on a monthly basis, and then you get paid a commission every single month that client stays on the books, stays buying that subscription or buying that particular product, right? That's what residuals are, where it's income that comes in over and over and over again for you having done the work one time. And residual income is really where it is for the big money. But I want to play a clip that David talked about today, and it came on the tail end of me asking a question and making a comment, but this really drives the point home about residual income and the power of our business model here with DAC and the power of one of our new services. But listen real close. I'm going to make sure my speaker is turned up so you can hear on this end.
Thank you. I wanted to say, as far as clarifying on the jobs, the people with jobs, I had it come to me yesterday. My wife said she's dealing with someone. She had a meeting with someone who said, I just want to make, I don't need to, but for my family, I want to make $1,000 a month just to contribute and cover all the groceries of my family, small family. And she said, I just want to make the $1,000 a month. And I'm sitting there and instantly I'm like, okay, just look at healthcare for a moment. 50 customers on healthcare is $1,000 a month as long as they stay on. It's $2,000 in residual revenue, which would mean 50% of that. So $1,000 a month residual revenue permanently without a team. Or you can have a part-time job making $15 an hour. And so you'll take home 10. So you got to work 100 hours a month to make that $1,000. So now you're taking 100 hours away from your family to make the 1,000. Or you could put 100 hours in one time into calling a bunch of people and getting 50 healthcare customers. It won't take 100 hours one time. Do you see how simple business ownership is? People don't think about it. They think their job with their daily pay is what they're supposed to do. And you can literally put 100 hours in one time, not every month to make that $1,000, one time and be really, really bad at it. And still have your 50 healthcare customers at the end of those 100 hours. And now you're making $1,000 a month. And next month, you don't have to go to that job for 100 hours. And why stop at $1,000? Why not go to 10,000? And by the way, we're talking about a residual slower way there. What about getting one funded client? $25,000 a month, which is lower than our average funding. Just one a month. Can you spend 5 hours a month calling a bunch of businesses? You're going to have to call a couple hundred. Today, I drove out to my boat to check on some things before my road trip, and I managed to take a picture while in auto drive. These are all trucks, cars, buildings that I got on my way today. Oh, that's a video that was Ultimate Lawn. Now, don't call these people. This one I missed because I was driving. I tried to get a picture of it driving by me. There's another one.
All right, I'm going to stop that. All right, that was the end of my slideshow. The whole point of this is, guys, $1,000 by getting a few healthcare clients, or like $1,000 by putting in $100 hours a month working a part-time job. To me, that's an absolute no-brainer, right? And David was going through here where I stopped the video talking about taking pictures, you know, finding people to talk to. If you don't want to call warm market, reach out to these people that are all around you. If you just go out to an intersection in your car, there are people all around you that are business owners, and you reach out and you introduce yourself, following exactly what Nick Duhame did on our Zoom from Friday last week. So really, really good stuff. So what I want to talk to you about now is going back to what we started last week, when I suggested, and I actually challenged you guys to reach out to at least 5 people over the course of the week before our call tonight and have a conversation. Just get the conversation started about, hey, what are you guys doing for healthcare? Okay. You don't have to raise your hand. Okay. But if you had some conversations with anyone about what are you guys doing for healthcare, whether it was a friend, a family member, or a business owner, or someone in your local community, I want to hear from you. I want to hear, I do want you to raise your hand if you want to share a testimonial there on how the conversation went, or if you ran into something in that conversation that was it kind of stumped you and what to say. I want to talk about it with you tonight. So anybody out here that had conversations last week that they want to raise their hand and speak up a minute and share what happened or ask any questions? We got a shy group. Oh my goodness. Now, I can't believe that not a single one of you had conversations with people last week about healthcare, because it's such an amazing program and it's so easy to talk about. I'll talk until somebody decides to raise their hand, whether it's asking a question or making a comment. I think I shared
I'll
last
talk
week.
after you.
Okay, I've got one up. Huh?
I said, I'll talk after you.
Okay. I've got Nikki with a hand up. I'm going to ask you to
Awesome.
unmute, Nikki. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. So I actually am just now realizing that we have healthcare to offer. So I'm just seeing it in my email. So do I just go, are there trainings and everything in those emails that have been sent out to learn about the healthcare products and all that?
There is. And actually, if you go over to the Agent Resource Center under Consumer Services tab at the top, there's a little drop down and there's a healthcare page that has the launch video. And there are 2 videos on your website. So if you go to davidallencapital.com and click, either go to the footer of the page, there's a healthcare link there, or in the little top right, what I call the hamburger section, the little 3 lines in the top right of the page, you can click on that and it'll open up and show you the health share link where you have your own healthcare page. Just add your agent ID number to the end of that. On your healthcare page, there are 2 really good videos that are customer facing videos. Those videos are also in the Agent Resource Center, but someone asked the other day, how do we share these? Best thing outside of just watching the videos is to share your website, because those videos are already hosted there. But like I said, the launch video where our partners at Clearwater are actually doing the launch and training us on how the program works, and then the videos that are on your site. Plus there is a great flyer that you can go in. I think I've got mine here, where you can go into Canva and customize a brochure where it's got a spot for you to add QR code, your name. It really asks for your name and your phone number and your agent ID, but you don't have to fill in those spots specifically. I put my name, my mobile number, my web address, and then my agent ID in case somebody made it over to my site without my ID. I had it on here, but these are great. You can personalize them yourself. But yeah, it's super, super great program. The benefits are tremendous. The pricing is very low compared to a comparable insurance program from healthcare.gov. The main thing is so many small business owners and entrepreneurs don't have access to quality health care. It's very limited, and unless they go with private health care, and private health care is very expensive and limited in many cases. So this program is just full of benefits, and I think it's going to be a viral program for us once more agents really catch on to how easy it is to have a conversation. Conversation can get started as simple as saying, hey, what are you guys doing for healthcare? When you ask that question, whoever you're talking to is going to say, oh, well, we're doing this. Or I had a business owner that said we had to get a plan off of healthcare.gov. Small business owner, it's just me and my son, and that was the only thing available. And I said, well, that's not the case anymore. So he's looking at our plans, right? But it's really easy to get the conversation started. You just want to go through that training and have a big picture overview of how it works. You don't have to be the expert. Our expert team over at our partners there at Clearwater will do the conversation for you with your clients. But again, you need to know enough to pique their interest and be able to handle any questions that may come your way. Anything
Okay.
else, Nikki?
This is completely unrelated, but do we still get paid through Relevate?
We
Is
do.
that-
We do,
Oh.
yes. And Relevate is one of the programs that we're marketing. There is another piece of the Relevate program that is coming to us to market here in the near future. It's just not quite ready to go yet. We're going to have a consumer program that we can market, but they're waiting on international transfer capability where they'll be able to do cross-border wire transfers or same-day instant cross-border transfers at a very small fee compared to what people are spending now, sending money back across international borders. So as soon as that comes live, we'll have the consumer product in addition to what we have now for the corporate product.
Okay, who can I call? Because I had got my son signed up under me, and his Relevate card never showed up. And when we called, it was just I forget what happened, but there were some issues, and he still hasn't been able to get his card.
Yeah, so you can go back through the Relevate website and call their customer support during business hours, Monday through Friday, and they will be able to help you. The easiest way to find the correct number is to go through your emails and search your emails from Relevate, because every time you attempt to do a login, you should get an email saying login attempted. And that always has a customer service phone number and a customer service email there.
Oh, and I'm sorry, last thing. He lost his welcome email, so he doesn't have any of his like link. Yeah.
Yep, not a problem. Real simple. Have him, or you can do it on his behalf, preferably him from the email address that he signed up with. He needs to send an email to support@davidallencapital.com and just say, hey, my name is this. Does he know his agent ID number at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah, just if he'll send in his name, his address, and use the email address that they have on file, name, address, phone number, any identifier that'll make it easier to find him in the system in case there's more than one agent by the same name, then they'll be glad to resend that welcome letter back out to him.
Okay. All right. Got it. Thank you.
One
Yeah,
other thing I'll add to that, Nikki, you can actually look up his agent ID number in your back office and give that to him. It'll make it a whole lot easier.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
He still needs that new welcome letter, so he's got all the links to the site though. But yes, Harlequin is correct on that. Okay, awesome. All right, James Doswell, got a hand up.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday.
Yes, indeed.
Wow, this is like you've always said, Ellen, the deeper you dig, the better it gets. I learned a couple of things new just last week. One of them is once we get the Relevate cross-border money transfer thing, that's going to be planetary. Anywhere that anybody is sending money, whatever our rate is going to be, that makes it truly attractive is not just, we usually think of, maybe south, of the United States kind of thing, but anywhere, the way I understand it from Relevate. The other thing that I learned, like what was her name? Nikki was just on, but
It was.
okay. Another thing I learned. Now, please don't take this as gospel, but I tried it and it did work. If you lose your or you can't find your ID number, if you put in the David Allen Capital web address / your name, no spaces, your page will come up and got all your information that you filled in when you signed up. That was interesting. As far as speaking on the healthcare, I accidentally did that, and the response was, "Oh, I'd be interested in looking at that." So I just sent them right to our page, and that was just like day before yesterday. So I haven't heard anything back, but I did make one contact. Okay.
Hey, that is called a start. That's great. Congratulations, James.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ellen, would it be really inconvenient for you now? If it is, I truly understand it. If you went through that brochure over there at Canva for the health, because to me,
Sure.
I think, I think it's a great piece, because you're able to enlarge it, and the stuff on each side, left and right, you can eliminate that and just kind of bring it up real good. But just if everybody kind of see what's there, because it's capsulized, but to me it's great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go to the Agent Resource Center. Got my screen share going, and on Agent Resource Center, again, we're going to go to the Consumer Services tab here at the top, and then down to Health Share. This is the launch video. This is a 2-minute, that's a different video than is on the website, 2-minute training. These two are the ones that are on the website. Oh man, this one on the left, the testimony overview, that is from the Clearwater CEO, Jason Sherman, and it is amazing testimonial video.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Yeah, how the program has saved customers money, how it gave a lady that had cancer the ability to get a second opinion. The first doctor was wrong. It was more aggressive. She got a second opinion. And then because of her coverage with Clearwater, she was able to get treated at one of the best hospitals in the United States and wasn't limited to a single state. Because a lot of these state plans through healthcare.gov and even through group employer plans, a lot of them you're limited to doctors and coverage inside your state to stay in network. So just some tremendous testimonials there. So I encourage you to listen to those. But the
Ellen, okay, on that same video right there.
This one?
I think it's at the very end when he was going through some bullet points kind of thing there. He was talking about how, or maybe it was the first one with the real estate guy, but he was saying that the money that was saved by going into our healthcare program was like 18 grand or something, that he took that money and invested in the business and increased the entire revenue of their business by saving on the health plan. Now, that just fits in with what we're doing anyway, the ERCs and and the business funding. Okay, so everything we're doing, okay, is pointing to that business funding.
It is. It absolutely is. Listen at you, James. You're becoming like me. You're getting giddy over this service. I love it.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing, folks. So let me get into the Health Share brochure. Okay, so to go customize it, you click on customize brochure. If you don't know how to do this, and I'm not going to do a full tutorial on it, but this little link right here, how to customize, Tyler takes you through how to use Canva and how to be able to do the QR code and all of that. But I'll show you the customized brochure link, and it opens up and you just click on use template, and you've got a completely created brochure ready to go. Take a minute for it to open. Here's page 1, gives you the overview here. And then page 2 gives you more information. Here's where you go in and replace agent name with your name, your phone number. It asks for here your url.com, your website. If you're using davidallencapital.com/healthshare/ your ID number, it ain't going to fit. So find something abbreviated. I bought a different domain name just so I had something shorter that would fit there. And then I added my ID number and a QR code. QR codes are available right over here. If not, it's in the tutorial on how to do that. But this is just incredible. Now, once you've created that and personalized it and double checked your work, you can go to share. Here you can download it and you can actually save it in a printable PDF that can be sent over to a local printer. If you've got nice quality paper on your printer and you want to fold it into a trifold brochure like I have here, you can do that. But regular printer paper is going to be a little bit too thin because you'll be able to see through it. It printed out nicely, but I need thicker paper to print at home. But I recommend that you get that and send it to a local printer and have them print up 100 or 150 or 200 copies for you. So you've got a really nice professional brochure to hand out as you go visiting businesses.
Okay, a really quick.
One more thing I'll show you. Go ahead, James.
Really quick before you leave there. Okay, right there at the bottom where it says add a page, there's a little slider there. Could you make that a little bit, not add a page, but can you make that a little bit larger to kind of fill out the screen and run through page 1? Oh, that's a little too much. If you back it down just a little bit on that slider. Okay, and just kind of run through that because that's just got the capsule of everything right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just got your different options. It's got your benefits, what the cost is on some of the programs and the care, the different advantages there. It's got a disclaimer here. You have options now, and I added a page that I didn't need to add. So I'm going to hit the little trash can there and get rid of that. So it's real easy to work in Canva. I encourage you to learn how to use that and really play with this program. I want to show you one more thing. Let me stop share for a minute and get my screen queued up to do this. And it's what I shared with Harlequin earlier today. Get rid of that. Okay. And let me get back to screen share. Now I'm in my email. All right, this is my Gmail. And I know a lot of you use Gmail, okay? So if you're not using templates, you should be, okay? Templates are available here. I've hit the compose box to write a new email, right? And I have templates that are saved in my computer. So under more options here, I open that up and I hit templates and my templates load. And I've got one that is titled Quality Affordable Healthcare. This is a real short email that I send out after I've had a conversation. I'm not cold mailing this out to anyone, but you know, the conversations that I've had recently, I talk to them on the phone and I say, hey, I'm going to send you an email over with some real quick information and a link over to our website, right? So I do that. I'll address it with their name and I may say, hey, it was great talking to you or whatever, or I may just put their name in and leave it as is. But here's the bullet points. I'm excited to share some information on a quality, affordable healthcare program that will fit your budget and provide typical savings of around 60%. All plans have 3 goals in mind. These 3 goals came from that Jason Sherman testimonial video, which is the goals that they created the company around, and that is to help save you money, provide a better network of doctors and healthcare options, and reduce your financial risk in the event of something serious happening. Okay. I also put these plans were designed for self-employed and 1099 contractors, which is on the website, but are available for any size group of W-2 employees. Our open enrollment allows you to get started at any time. To learn more, watch the 2 videos on our website. And if you like what you hear, schedule a call to get a personalized plan quote. Visit our website. When you click there, it goes straight over to my personalized page, takes them directly to the healthcare page, and so on. And you'll notice I've changed up my signature. I took the DAC logo out, but I have a link that goes over to financial services, and I have a healthcare link. So if I'm sending this to a business owner, they can look at whichever aspect of our business they would like to see. So just wanted to share that with you as a quick tool. And again, using that under templates, I get off the phone and I'm not having to rewrite an email or copy and paste. It's in my templates. I just pop it up, pop it in there. And I have templates written for many, many different messages that I want to share when I'm talking about our services or about our opportunity along the way. Okay. Hopefully that'll help someone. All right. I see Connie with a hand up. I'm going to ask you to unmute, Connie. What do you have for us tonight?
Hello, how are you?
Excellent.
Good, and hello to everyone. I'm new to the program, but I have a couple of questions just from what you just showed everyone on the Gmail. Is the template available to where you can share that with the team?
I could certainly send that email out and say, hey,
Okay.
this is my template. I can do that.
I appreciate it because I want to get on a move with the healthcare plan. And another thing with that, the brochure, is it available to where we can put our name on it as well as our ID? And if so,
It
where
is.
can I get it?
Yeah, it's in the Agent Resource Center. So to get to the Agent Resource Center, Connie, you're going to go to your davidallencapital.com website, go all the way to the footer at the bottom of the page, and there's an agent login link where that's where you log in to your back office. And once you log into that dashboard in the back office on the left-hand menu, it says Agent Resource Center. Click on that. That opens up where all your training is. It opens up on the Getting Started page, which is your basic welcome video from our company founder, David Rutz, as well as the basic funding training, some flyers there, quick reference guides for funding, quick reference guide for ERC, and also shows you how to go in and set up your Relevate account, which is the pay card and the way that we get our direct deposits from DAC. It happens to be one of the services that we market, and that's why we're using it to get paid so that we're familiar with that service. So yeah, it's customizable. There's video in there showing you how to do that. And absolutely, you can start printing those tonight if you want to.
Awesome. And I was going to ask you about I heard everyone talking about the relevant card. But now I can go on and do that as well. Last question I have is, say I get a group of people that I do know of, but I get a group of people who need some insurance and I send them to our page, correct? After I send them to our page, will a consultant from Clearwater get in touch with them, or is it for me to let them know that they're getting in touch with them?
Yeah, so great question. And all of that's detailed in the training, but in a nutshell, here's how the process works. You have a conversation with someone, pique their interest, and I say I'm sending out that email with a link over to the website, but honestly, Connie, if you and I were on the phone and you expressed an interest in getting some more information about the healthcare, you know, my advice would be that you schedule a call with our healthcare benefits team so that they can ask you a few questions about your specific needs and really find a plan that fits your needs and customizes it for you. And if you said, well, yeah, I want to do that, and I'll say, well, great. Well, let me go ahead and get your information in the system, and I'll schedule a time right now on the calendar if you've got a minute to do that. And you go, okay, well, I'm on my computer, I'm talking to you on the phone, and I'm filling in the form on my David Allen Capital site. So let me go back to screen share. I'll show you what I would do. Okay, so we're on the phone. You're saying, yeah, that sounds good. So I'm going to click the schedule call button, and it's going to come up with a form. So I'm going to say, okay, it's Connie. What's your last name, your email, phone number? My information's already populated because I'm on my David Allen Capital Health Share site. And when I
Mhm.
click the continue button to submit your information over to the healthcare team, it's going to do
Mhm.
2 things. One is going to send me an email as the referring agent. So I'm going to get an email saying, congratulations, health share quote started. I forget how that's worded, but something on those lines. So you get an email from David Allen Capital letting you know that someone filled out the form on your site. The next thing is, if I clicked the schedule a call button, it's going to go to the schedule a call section of the next page, which is the Clearwater DAC site. And there, I'm just going to click on through. It's going to ask a few questions, but I'm just going to click on the schedule a call, which takes me directly to a calendar. And I'm going to say, okay, Connie, we've even got consultants available today. Do you have some time today? What time would work for you? Because if you click on that calendar, it's going to have a time slot probably within the next hour that you could
Mm.
schedule, because they've got a lot of hands on deck doing these calls and doing the consulting. So you can schedule it right then and there. In fact, you may even find one that's available within the next 30 minutes to get someone on the phone. The team over at Clearwater, our partners in healthcare, they're going to do the call. It will actually be a Zoom link that they send to your client so they can get on video with them, or they can call in by phone. And then the healthcare team is going to spend about 30 minutes on the phone answering all their questions, finding out what their healthcare needs are, what they currently have, what their desires are to limit their out-of-pocket risk and out-of-pocket expenses. And then if the client likes what they hear, they've got a couple of options. Here we are on August the 21st. So we're past the 15th of the month, but as long as that client makes a decision before the 1st of September, they can enroll the last day of this month and have coverage begin on September the 1st.
Oh, wow.
Quick, okay. Or let's say we move on into September and they're in the first week of September before they make a decision, and they're going, man, I wish we could have gotten started at the beginning of the month. They still can, as long as they make a decision by the 15th of the current month. The Clearwater team can say, okay, we're going to backtrack it and make it effective for the 1st of the month. So you're covered the rest of the month, right? And you don't have to worry about the next 2 or 3 weeks of not having appropriate coverage. You'll be covered on our plan moving forward. So there's lots of flexibility in that. You mentioned insurance, the word insurance. We stay away from that because this is not a true insurance product. And that brings me to one thing that you're going to have people saying. I've talked to several people that are knowledgeable about this, and a couple of people, one of the first things they said is they said, well, that's not one of those share plans, one of those Christian share plans, is it? And my answer is not a yes or no answer. So write this down and listen carefully to what I'm teaching you guys, okay? When somebody says that's not one of those share plans or one of those Christian ministry plans, is it? I say, actually, we have 2 different programs to choose from. Write that down. We have 2 different programs to choose from. Depending on what your health care needs are, we have a major medical plan that is just like the insurance that you can get on healthcare.gov, only better, with better pricing and better coverage. That's the first thing I say. And then I get to address the question about, is it one of those Christian ministry sharing plans? And I said, in your question about sharing, it actually is a sharing plan. But let's be honest, those sharing plans act a lot like insurance, but it's not considered insurance. So they don't fall under the same regulations as your local state insurance commission operates under. They don't have to operate under those same rules. So this plan is actually better because it works in all 50 states. It's lower price, but it works just like an insurance plan does. So that's how I address the share plan. I don't answer yes or no. And I always give here's the reason why they exist. So they don't fall under that same statewide regulation on a state-by-state basis. And they have the ability to market across the country. And if on the share plan, it's real important to know too, that we have reinsurance on the back end of that, because share plans, the way they work is people pay into the membership every month to cover their plan, and it goes out into a shared network. Those shared, the bills come in from the money that the members are paying in, and it covers the medical bills, right?
Mhm,
Well, what
mhm.
happens if there's an expense that's larger than what the membership fees were for the month? That's where the reinsurance comes in, so they'll never end up upside down and not being able to pay a claim. So that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And there's terminology in that training. And I just said claim. That's not one of the words you want to use. You want to use the word needs instead of a claim.
Mhm.
But there's insurance terms, and then there's shared plan terms. And you want to get familiar with that terminology, because unless you're a licensed insurance agent, you don't want to be presenting yourself as if you're a licensed insurance agent. You want to use the correct
Mhm.
terminology, and also defer it over to the team that will actually be helping your client make the decision. So
Okay.
that's it.
Thanks so much, Ellen. The persons would be able to use this shared plan just as though they were going to do a to the doctor or going to their primary doctor. They would be able to use this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just got a package in the mail today. I tell you, I'm blown away, and I don't see it here. I'm blown away by the whole program itself. One, from the consultation, the initial call that I had with the team to determine, what was a good fit for me and which plan I wanted to go with, to my onboarding process. When I did decide, I signed up. It took about 15 minutes, and I had the healthcare consultant walk through it with me, because I really wanted to see what that process was like from a consumer's perspective. Then I got an email, I got a text message, and I got a phone call welcoming me to Clearwater. And here's my benefits. I get an email every week with, don't forget, you have access to this. We have the telehealth at zero cost for a telehealth visit. We have Talkspace, where you can talk to a licensed therapist once a month. If you need to talk to a licensed psychiatrist once a month, you can do that free of charge. Additional visits are $65 an hour for a therapist, and I think it's $85 an hour for additional hours for psychiatrists, outside of the one free per month. Prescription drugs, zero cost on a lot of those. Plus, we've got just basic copays, just like you would with a traditional insurance plan. And I've got those in front of me here. I've got the plan, the advanced plan. So if I go to an urgent care, I've got a $50 shared portion. X-rays are $50 for me, and MRIs $210 for labs. But we also have a care consultant program, and I forget the term on that. Harlequin, you can correct me what it's called. But if a care coordination team, if I need one of those services that I have my share portion, if I go through the care coordination team, they'll find that MRI or that X-ray where it won't cost me anything on my copay part of it. So tremendous benefits and no limit to the coverage. I gave a testimonial of a man who contracted COVID after he became a member. He contracted COVID, which turned into some heart problems. He ended up hospitalized with over a $2 million medical bill. He was on our $1,000 out-of-pocket max plan, and that's all he had to spend out of pocket was $1,000 on over $2 million medical bills. So don't watch the training. It's really empowering when you hear the facts on how many people go into bankruptcy because of medical claims, and what percentage of those people actually had insurance, but they ended up going bankrupt anyway because they didn't have the right insurance. So good stuff.
Thanks so much, Ellen. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for your questions, and glad to have you here.
Thanks.
Right.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
Awesome. Hey, Ray, what you got? How are you doing tonight?
Can you hear me, Ellen?
I can, yes.
Okay, I'm doing good. Well, pretty much Connie answered my question, because after you had explained about having the customer or client to call for a quote, I was like, okay, so I thought the company was going to do that, but I'm glad all of that was explained. So you answered pretty much all her questions, and you answered mine. So
awesome.
Okay.
Well, good to hear from you. Glad you're here tonight.
Yes, thank you.
All right, you bet. Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, excuse me. Okay, got a little frog in my throat here. All right, I think I know the answer to this, but the health share plan is national, correct?
It is all 50 states.
Okay. Now, if somebody gets the starts with the health share plan in one state and then later move to a different state, do they have to notify Clearwater, or how does that work?
I mean, they would want to update their address, but it's not going to change their coverage because it's a nationwide PPO network. In fact, we have 2 nationwide PPO networks, and there's also out of network coverage for the example of the lady that had cancer and needed care from a different facility. You're not limited to what facilities you get treatment at, as long as you communicate to them and let them know, hey, here's my need, here's what's going on, and then the healthcare team starts advising and helping direct from there. But yeah, they can move anywhere they want to. All 50 states is covered, no limitations.
Now, if let's say if they move, permanently move to a different state, do you happen to know if the pricing would be similar or different?
No, it's the same. It's the same. The pricing is based on, 1, whether you're a smoker or a non-smoker. Okay. 2, which plan you pick, as far as is it a basic plan or an advanced plan or the major medical plan, what coverage levels you pick. And then also the third part is, what age bracket are you in? There are 3 different age brackets, from 18 to 29, from 30 to 49, and from 50 to 64. After someone turns 65, then they're Medicare eligible, and these plans are not a good fit anymore. However, the add-ons like the vision, the disability, those are available after the age of 65. And then of course, we've got our new RX program that is coming, and it's going to be a perfect fit for anyone who's already on Medicare to help reduce their drug costs. But that one's not live yet. I just get excited thinking about it though, because I know it's going to be a viral program for us.
All right. And as far as you know, the health care plan would not cover durable med equipment like walkers, wheelchairs.
Yeah, there's coverage on that. There's some coverage on that.
Okay.
Yep, there's some coverage on that, and there's a whole list of what's covered and not covered. And when you're talking to a consultant, they're happy to divulge anything that you have specific questions about, for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, James, one thing before I go to you, I want to go over to one screen that I wanted to share, and then I'll come back to your question. Okay. And that is, I'm over on the David Allen Capital site. I was just sharing the healthcare site. And I want to go back to David Allen Capital. As we're talking about videos, there are a couple of new videos on your site. Actually, they're not new. They've just been kind of hidden behind a button, and most people didn't realize they were there. So the business capital video, I love this. I'm going to play it real quick because it is a powerful video. It is from our company founder, David Rutz, and he's just explaining the process. So if your customer will listen to this short 40-second video, then in a nutshell, they understand what David Allen Capital is all about.
Hi, I'm David Rutz, founder of David Allen Capital. I'm an entrepreneur, and my family and I, we believe in the power of entrepreneurs like you. If your business needs working capital to fund its growth, or maybe to get through a tight financial pinch, and if traditional banks aren't the right fit for you, we might just have the funds you need. Our providers are going to look at your cash flow more than your credit score, and we represent all the top alternative providers. So with us, it's one stop for the best offers. Answer some simple questions at our website and see if you qualify. It's a free application with no obligation. David Allen Capital. Let's get to work.
I love that video. Now, let me point out, business capital, line of credit, and instant funding all go to the same application. So, but only this business capital page has that video. So if you want your client to see the video, you're going to need to lead with the business capital page. It'll still take them to the line of credit application based on their answers, and it'll still take them to the same application that the instant funding leads to, because those 3 are the same funnel. It just diverts them to the right product based on how they answer the questions in the application. The other video I wanted to show you is the employee pay advance, and this is the Relevate video. And I think this is powerful because so many people aren't familiar with what we mean by interest-free pay advances and so on. So I want to play this real quick as well. This is a powerful video.
The reality of today's economy is hitting home with employers. Employee turnover is now running at over 100% and costing over $2,000 to hire, train, and replace workers, let alone sky-high signing bonuses. But even within this new workplace dynamic, one of the core underlying realities that many American workers have is financial insecurity. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 65% of employees feel that personal financial worries impact their health. 44% have less than $400 saved for unexpected expenses. What if one product could help solve both the immediate labor and hiring issues and also address some of those longer-term worker insecurities and realities without adding $1 to your bottom line? Introducing the Relevate Digital Account with no monthly account fees, no credit checks, no minimum balances, and no overdraft fees. The account comes with a Visa debit card, global ATM network, bill pay, send money, and features Pay Any Day. Pay Any Day, a proven way to reduce employee turnover by as much as 40%. With Pay Any Day, employees can access up to 50% of their pay before payday. Pay Any Day is not a loan, it is an advance. And with Relevate's digital account, your employees can get their money when they need it. Your employees' satisfaction, financial wellness is critical to reducing turnover. Make their life easier, and they will stay longer. Contact us for more information.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So guys, we're getting high tech, and things are getting better on the customer facing side. We just got to get better at having conversations with more people as agents, right? So that we can get these services in front of more people. So James, I'll come back to you. You got your hand up. I appreciate your patience there and ask you to unmute.
Okay, could you share the screen again and go to the schedule a call at the healthcare, please?
Let's see, I do have that. Yeah, I can pull that up. Okay, so we fill out the form, and I'll show you exactly where it's going to go to without filling the form out. Got a glare on my keyboard here. Okay, so if I go to schedule a call, it's going to open up on this page.
We can't, oh.
Which is
okay.
directly on a calendar link, right? So
Right.
they're already closed for business today. Tomorrow is the next business day. It's showing in my time zone here, Eastern time. And I just go in and pick a time slot that works. Let's say 10 a.m. I do next, fill in information. Uh-oh, let me backspace out of that. Fill in information and submit client information. You can add additional people to the call. If you want to add other people, you can add their email address. And then once you submit it, that email is instant. It gets triggered to the client. My last client that I submitted, I filled the form in for him. And he said, Ellen, can you be on the call? And I said, if you'd like for me to. And he said, yeah. So I added myself, and I instantly received an email inviting me and telling me who the consultant would be that we're doing a Zoom call with. Did you have a question on that specific or point something out?
Yeah, I wanted to point something out, not on this page, but on the other page that you came from, the app page.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now the explanations that you've given and shown, the demos and everything, is absolutely great. But if a person does not want to go that far with it, or you're just kind of nervous kind of thing, but you have someone there that you got them on the phone, they were already on our site, and they're interested in, just getting a quote to see what's going on, right? Well, when they were on this page right here, when they fill it out and click continue, okay, we can't even see what it is. But I want everyone to understand this. You see number one right there where it says receive an online quote. If your conversation has been that the potential customer, wants to get a quote, okay, you can take them there on their screen and your screen to right here. But the thing for you to know over there, well, for us to know, is that as soon as they fill this out, or we can fill it out with them, or, however that is, just, as they're going down through it, when they click that continue button right there, your email alert is in your email right then. Okay, so you've got their name, their email address, and their cell phone number, where you can follow up in the event that you're wondering, how do I communicate with this person? When they click continue, it's in your email.
Right. Yeah, so I did the schedule a call, and that's why it would go over to that page. But as Tyler explained the other day, because my question was, I said, schedule a call, view plans, and find my price. All three of those buttons lead to that same form that we were just looking at, right? The difference is, if you do schedule a call and click on that button, it takes you over to the scheduling page. If you do the view plans, it's going to take you over to the plans page of the next website and give them an opportunity to view plans. Okay. And if they're on the health share site and they do find my price, that's going to take them to the get a quote. Right here on the quick quote. It's going to take them there to where they're going to be directed to answering some questions about themselves. Okay, we just need a little bit more. Let's get started. And then, is it you, a couple, me and kids, couple and kids? Oh, that's the other factor there where I was going through the plans that you choose. There are 4 different levels of coverage, where you're single, you're a couple, or a single parent, or a couple and kids. So I love that they've got that clearly laid out, but that's where that's going to go. Those buttons will direct you to different places on the website. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Aaron, or you want to see something else?
Okay. I just want to make one more point. Okay. If you're wondering, okay, why is it, that we always got to go right to that application page where we fill in that information? Because sometimes, people have an adversity to, like, well, I don't want to sign up or anything, or, well, okay, here's the deal. In order for the pages that Ellen just showed us be connected to our ID number, they got to go to this page right here. So just understand that if you're, kind of belly aching about, why they got to come here, why we can't just send them straight to somewhere else. Well, in order to get paid, we got to do this page first, and anything that happens after that over there at Clearwater, we're connected for always, so we can get that residual payment every month. That's it.
Exactly. And that's why with this particular product, actually every product that we market, with the exception of funding, you can go in and fill out the form with the client on the phone. Okay. Funding is a different animal, because funding is giving permissions and the client is having to do an e-signature authorizing a soft FICO pull and all of those financial records be disclosed. But everything else that we market, you're just scheduling a call for them and our professionals. So you can actually fill out the form, of course, with the client's permission. Even the ERC, you can fill that form out with the client's permission if you're talking through and asking them questions on the phone. That reminds me, did y'all see the big update where we're getting 5% instead of 4% all the way through the end of September for any new ERC submissions that started from yesterday through the end of September? Any business that fills out the form and gets that process started and follows through, when the client gets their money back and you get paid your commission, you'll earn 5% of what the client receives instead of the current 4% that we're getting right now. That's a big deal. I had one agent that got over $14,000 back. She would have gotten 25% more. that would have been, she would have made an extra $3,500 on that 5% versus 4%. So that's a lot of money on the table. I say go get them. But you know what? With the conversation about healthcare and the conversation about Relevate, it all leads to another conversation potentially about what else it is that we do, right? You just got to pick what it is that you're going to open the door with. And to me, healthcare is the ubiquitous conversation that we can have with anybody and everybody, again, whether they're your friend, family member, or work for a big corporation or own a company, right? Because everybody is impacted by healthcare, and whether they have it or don't, or what the cost is for them. So I like that as a conversation starter. And then once they're open to it, I've got other employee benefits with Relevate. I've got the RX card that's coming. And by the way, we also specialize in small business funding. If you guys ever want to grow or expand and need some quick working capital that you can't get from your local bank, I'm your go-to person for that quick working capital. So, you know, it's just a matter of being able to flow through the conversation and know your services enough to speak intelligently about them as you're talking. So, all right, Harlequin's got her hand up. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I figured it would be easiest to put my hand up. Before I start talking about something else, I want to send a reminder to everybody that Eric Worre is having his recruiting challenge this Saturday, noon to 3 p.m. I'm putting the link in the chat. And for those of you who are watching the replay, it's mygoprochallenge.com. It's going to be Saturday, the 26th from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. And he's going to have a bunch of great recruiters that are going to be on there giving us tips and tricks on how to recruit. It's only going to be $7 for a 3-hour training. You can get a group of people together to watch it together if you want. But I just wanted to remind people of that because it is this coming Saturday. And then Ellen, you were asking about, you know, did we do our 5? And it's like, I think I got that covered on Tuesday, you know, after last Monday. But a couple of places that I went to, I know in a lot of areas, there's a lot of groups that get together that are into real estate investing. And while they are not always the best fit for us for our DAC funding, just because they don't have the consistent revenue, they don't have 3 or 4 deposits every single month. But most of those people don't have insurance. And I actually ran into somebody who was wearing a cast on his hand or on his wrist because he broke his wrist and ended up having to have a second surgery on it to remove the pins that they put in the first place. And he has no insurance. So there's a lot of people out there that are in that arena that would love to have insurance coverage or healthcare coverage. But if you just go and do a search for real estate investing groups, you know, go to Meetup or Eventbrite or Facebook and just do a search for it, I'm sure you will find multiple in your community. But I also went to a couple of networking events where I met a lot of different people. I also went to a business expo, but I actually spoke to somebody today, a State Farm agent. He's got 4 employees in his office. 2 of them currently have coverage, but there are 2 that need it immediately. Spoke to another gentleman who had a small IT company. He's got, can't remember if he said he had 8 or 12 people that working for him, and he is currently looking to get coverage for all of them, and he's going to pay for it. So just those 2 right there, that's like at least 10 people that I'll get plans for. And, you know, at 40 points a piece, that's 400 residual revenue.
Now, let
And
me ask you, Harlan, out of those conversations, it sounds like nobody said, oh, no, we're good. We've got exactly what we want. Is that true?
there were a couple of people that said, oh yeah, we have insurance. But they were still open to looking and seeing, yeah, hey, I would always like to save money on my coverage.
Yeah. So if
So,
somebody says they have insurance, just say, well, are you in love with the insurance that you have? Ask
right,
that question, because that's what the video says on our website. So
right.
awesome. Didn't want to interrupt you. I just happened to think of that as you're telling your
Yeah.
testimony.
Well, and I also have a couple of health insurance agents and an AFLAC agent that want to get together with me to offer it in addition to what they currently offer their clients. So that's a great resource for new potential agents.
And
So,
also Medicare insurance agents, a lot of them do not do traditional healthcare. They're focused entirely on Medicare. So bringing them in as an agent where they can refer clients over to us, still get paid instead of having to pass that commission off to another insurance agent that specializes in healthcare. It's a
Yep.
win for sure.
Absolutely. But
Awesome.
anyways, those were the main things that I had to talk. But yeah, I lost track of how many people I spoke to this week. So
That's awesome. Back to the conversation about if you had 50 healthcare clients, that would equate to $1,000 a month residual income, month after month after month. So 50 clients on would be equivalent to $12,000 a year, or 100 clients would be 24,000 a year, right? Or 150 would be 72,000 a year, or 200 clients would be 100,000 a year, right? So the numbers add up. And if you're not doing the ones and twosies of just a friend or a family member, but you're having those conversations, because honestly, we want to help our loved ones and people that we know. We want to help them and make sure that they've got a plan that is best suited for them, right? But if you're also mixing it in with conversations with some business owners like Harlequin just shared, then finding a multiple number of families that you can impact with one conversation turns that number up quickly to go from one plan to now you've got 10 people on healthcare, but you only had 2 different conversations. So that's where dealing with business owners, where you've got groups of employees, can really put this on steroids quickly for you, get you into the highest level or residual plan where you're making a 50% match. And then you're just getting you're cranking those checks out. You're recruiting people on your team are catching on to that same fire, and they're having the conversations. And next thing you know, you're making $1,000 a month on your own customers, and then you're making $500 or $1,000 on what's going on in your team. And now you've doubled your income, and that just continues snowballing month after month after month to where all of a sudden you're making $10,000 a month. And you're going, oh my gosh, I didn't think this was possible. It's possible, guys. You just got to believe, and you got to have the conversations and get as excited and fired up about it as I am, and as Harlequin is, and as some others that you're hearing here about this program. It is life-changing for the people that we bring it to, and it can be life-changing for you as well if you market it and just start getting that viral effect going, and you won't believe how much money it'll be putting into your family's pocket. Got a couple of more questions up here. James, you got your hand up again. Somebody had to stop me from being on a roll.
It's okay. Rock on, sugar. No, I need a little bit of help from whoever can help me to get a core understanding. I've had lifetime insurance for 50 years, over 50 years now, from the VA, because when I was in Nam, it just came straight on through, and I've had it all the time. So the root thing that somebody has, if they have these these coverages out here, okay, let's say they've been with a service for 5 years, had the same doctor for 5 years. We go there, we talking compare, okay, the cost goes down, but they're basically married to this doctor because they trust him so much. Is it, as a rule, the cost that would stimulate somebody to change, and the nationwide PPP doctors that they can get, and all the professionalism that they can get under urgent care? Or is it that regardless to what the cost is, okay, I trust this doctor and I'm just going to spend the money? Which one of those is a person more interested in, is what I don't have a really, really, really good feel for?
Yeah, and that's a great question. You know, some people are going to be sold on that doctor. I know when the ACA first rolled out and I bought insurance for the first time off of healthcare.gov, they told me I could keep all my doctors, and that wasn't the case. I had to change my doctors, and it really disrupted my world because I had relationships with, I don't go to the doctor, but preventative care visits every year, but I had long-term relationships with these same doctors. You know, I knew them, they knew my family, and it was disruptive for me. So some people may be more important that they keep their same doctor, but the good news is, James, most likely their doctor is going to be a part of our network. In fact, when they're doing the consultation for the healthcare plans, the consultant will say, hey, would you like to see if your doctors are on here? And they'll actually pull them up by name and by zip code right there with the client on the phone or on the Zoom. So they'll look it up. And there's also the out of network coverage where they could, if they've got a doctor that they want to use that's not part of network right now, they could still use that doctor. Okay, may have a little bit of a difference on the benefit, but the benefits consultants will advise them on that as well. And one other thing on doctors and networks, I know my family practitioner now was not a part of this network when I first met her. I met her and her group, her doctor's group, at a business conference with my local chamber, and I'm going, I really like this lady, I want to go talk to her. Well, she wasn't a part of my PPO network, which was the previous DAC healthcare that we had. And I went in and submitted her as a recommended provider. It took a couple of months, but the insurance emailed her. She opted in and said, yeah, I want to be a part of that provider network. And now she's covered. And here I am on this Clearwater plan, and it's the same PPO network. So she's already in the network and is one of my providers already. But every doctor that I like over the years, the different specialties, they're all a part of the PPO network. And that was not the case when I had Cigna and when I had Blue Cross Blue Shield and Ambetter here in the state of Georgia. Those three different providers had three different sets of hospitals and doctors that I had to choose from. So I've got far better selection of provider network with what we have here with Clearwater.
Okay, so if the potential, their doctor is not in the network, but they get a plan with us, if their out of network doctor recommends that they get a certain procedure, which is covered in the care coordination service, would that work together?
Yeah, in fact, I've got, and this came off of the Clear DAC website. There's a section there that does the plan comparison chart. And if you look at this, James, y'all can all go to cleardac.com. That's the site that your client gets referred to after they've gone to the DAC healthcare site. Just don't send a client there without filling out the form on your DAC site first. Otherwise, we won't know they're connected to you. But this particular chart shows every one of the different plan options, and it shows network, PPO, unrestricted. So there are two different PPO networks, and they can even go outside of that network and still have a shareable expense. But yeah, they just want to talk to the care coordination team.
Great. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you. Hey, Cherry, how are you?
Hi, Ellen. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Just one quick question. Would you approach a business with ERC, or would you do the healthcare? Which one would
Yes.
you? Which one? Which one would you do?
Yes. Well, it really depends, depends on my relationship with the business, but I think that the healthcare conversation, as I said earlier, is a ubiquitous conversation. Hey, what are you guys doing for healthcare? And that goes into well, we've got this alternative plan. We're using HipNation and we're using this one where they've got two different plans with discount plan and stuff kind of married together to try to piece together what looks like a real plan, but most cases is not. That conversation will be a longer conversation than the one about the ERC. If you just ask, hey, did you guys get your employee retention tax credits back? Most people will say, yeah, we're good, or no, we didn't get that, or we didn't qualify. If I'm talking about ERC, I elaborate the conversation. I said, hey, did you guys get your, y'all were impacted by COVID, right? I said, were y'all able to get the PPP money when that was first available, and get that conversation started that way? If it's someone that I know, and then they're going, oh yeah, we got the PPP money. And I said, and then we had the EIDL loans. And then we had the ERC, the employee retention credit, that was the extra $26,000 or up to $26,000 that you could get if you retained employees. Were you guys able to apply for that and qualify? And they go, oh, wait a minute, I don't think I got that one. Right. So you got to distinguish between the ones of what they are to make sure that they're understanding, because they may have heard an ad on the radio, or they may have been cold called by somebody, as I get a dozen calls a week, sometimes a dozen calls a day, automated voicemail drops saying, your business potentially qualifies. You need to call us now and not miss out on $26,000, right? That's going on in the industry. So you got to distinguish yourself from all of these cold calls that are coming in. But there's no right or wrong to that, Cherry. It just depends on which door you want to open. But if you've got that door open opportunity, it should be both conversations in there to see which one leads to the warmest conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Because they're both about saving them money or getting money back.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Good question. And Jimmy, you got your hand up again?
Yes. I agree with you, because I'm thinking of leading with the health share, and as a backup would be to elevate. And I was thinking about targeting. Now I know that this industry is fairly high turnover, but I think there is a need, for both health share and elevate would be like the restaurant industry. And I don't think as far as I know, I don't think there's any restrictions as far as, because I know like in restaurants, there tends to be high turnover. So even if they leave, they can still keep either the health share or the elevate, correct?
Absolutely, they can. Yeah, that relevate account is still theirs. Of course, if they're receiving money from their employer, then they would have to be funding that account on their own, unless they went to another employer and said, hey, is there any way you guys can get started with this? I had this with my other employer and I really like it, where we could get part of our pay advance. And maybe that would lead to a conversation. When we have that customer referral program, that's probably going to have a way to get connected back to you, but we don't have the details on that yet. But yeah, you got the right thought process going there, Jimmy. They're definitely interchangeable and both standalone, where they can move with the employee wherever the employee goes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you bet. All right, LaTwan, how are you doing tonight? Ask you to unmute.
Hello, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I had a quick question for you. I didn't know that we was doing the payday loans.
It's not.
Oh, we're not?
It's not a payday loan, okay? It is a program with a pay card where the employer has to participate with Relevate. The employer comes on, they sign up for an account with Relevate, and they are choosing to use Relevate to pay their employees. Now, once they have signed up to use Relevate as their payment method to send the employees money on Relevate, just like DAC pays us on Relevate, the employer would send money to that employee's Relevate account rather than direct depositing it into a different account that they might be doing today. Once they've started using that, then the employee can draw up to 50% of their gross wages that are coming before payday. So it acts like a payday loan to the employee, but it has to go through the employer using that, not us offering payday loans to employees.
I understand it's more like for payroll. So it helps out with payroll, and it gives the option to the employees where they can get a loan when they get their check direct deposited, correct?
Correct. They're borrowing money off of their own money that is coming. They're taking an advance on it before payday. So when payday arrives, let's say they've got $1,000 coming and they needed 400 of it for an emergency. Then 400 would come out of the 1,000. So when payday really rolls around and the rest of the money's there, they'd only have $600 left until they got paid again. But then again, they could do that advance, right? But there's no fees. There's no interest, like the payday loan places charge ridiculous fees. Banks charge overdraft fees, all of the different fees that go into the equation when somebody runs out of money before they get their next paycheck. This
So
helps.
my quick question for you is, am I able, because I'm an agent, am I able to sign myself up?
For the Relevate?
Yes.
You need to sign up for Relevate because that's how we get paid as DAC agents. But
I have that card, but I mean, because I have my own company, right? I also run multiple campaigns. Am I able to use it for myself also?
do you have employees with your company?
Yes, I have W-9 employees.
Okay. How many employees do you have?
31.
Okay. Yeah. So potentially you could qualify. They would like to see 200 employees, but with us, they came in and said 100 and then they went down to 50. And in some cases you can do it with 25 employees, but it really depends on the financial strength of the company as to whether Relevate will say, yeah, you can do the pay any day advances with your company. So my recommendation would be to go through your website, click on get qualified or apply, and get the conversation started with the Relevate team. Their whole process works exactly the same way as what I just explained on the health share, where you go in, you fill out the form, you pick a time slot on the calendar that works for you to have a conversation with them, and then they'll determine whether you're a good fit or not, and you guys can move forward within a week or so if it is a good fit.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks for the question, and thanks for the clarification there. All right,
No
Jimmy, you got your back up?
Yeah, just clarify real quick. You mentioned it with Relevate and the pay any day, there's no fee. Isn't there a $2.95? Because I thought that's what it says on the video.
It is. When I say no fees, I was thinking in the terms of the interest and all the high fees that are charged because we were talking about payday lenders. But yeah, it's a $2.95 withdrawal fee for them to pull that money down if they do that advance. That is correct.
Okay.
Very
All right. And I think as you were talking with last one, I was thinking maybe another I don't know if benefit would be a good phrase, but maybe another good selling point to the employees is if they have employees who don't have any bank accounts, because I know that they would have to get a check, run down to the check cashing place and go through that. So with the Relevate, the employee can just deposit directly into their Relevate account. So that makes it easy for both the employer and for the employee.
Oh yeah, exactly. And these check cashers, they're making a fortune off of employees that are having to give up a percentage of their earnings to be able to cash a check because, like you said, they don't have a banking relationship and maybe they're not bankable. But if they're coming in through an employee account, they don't have to be bankable. We take the credibility of the employer themselves, and all the employees in that company have access to get that account. Because think about it, there's no risk for the bank really because there's no overdrafts allowed and there's no room for them to be upside down where somebody's writing bad checks and pulling money out of there that they aren't going to cover. So they're protected there. All right, good questions. Anything else there, Jimmy? All right, James.
I think that's all my questions for tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you much. Appreciate the interaction. James, you got your hand back up?
Yeah, yes. What Jimmy just asked, okay, doesn't the pay card handle that person?
I'm not following your question.
Okay. I thought he was making the last suggestion there that, you know, people that get a paycheck and got to go to these check cashing places, you know, if the employer has people that have the account, don't they have pay cards too for the people that don't have the account, where they can still pay into the pay card versus a paper check? Doesn't that handle that?
Yeah, but the Relevate card and the bank account itself comes with the debit card.
Not the debit card.
Yeah, they're going to have pay cards available for those that go with a debit card digital account process as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It does. All right. No more questions. Harlequin, did I miss anything? We've had a long meeting tonight. Lots of good questions, good conversation. Appreciate you all.
Yeah.
All right. So
we had a couple of things in the chat, but I resolved them. And so
we needed to address for everybody, because I didn't see what was. Nope.
No, because I'm going to have conversations off-site with them.
Okay. All right. And one last thing on Eric Worre's training on Saturday. I encourage you to attend, but do not take your credit card, because he will sell you a $1,000 or a $10,000 program if you aren't careful and get all caught up in that. He's an excellent trainer and he's an excellent promoter, and you will find yourself following down that path if you're not careful. So go for the training, go for what you're there for, and don't get caught up in all of this other side stuff that he does. But he's not going to be cross-recruiting in any other network marketing programs, but he is going to be cross-recruiting you into the GoPro training program that he sells and makes a fortune.
He's changed the program, Ellen. There's no longer a $10,000 program.
Still, it's not free and it's not cheap. So I'm just saying, words of caution on what you get into when you go to the training. All of the stuff that David talks about the free trainings that DAC offers and not charging a lot of money to have you drive across country and do all that. That's one of the trainers that he's talking about, not specifically, not by name, but those are people that are promoting and selling their skills and making money off of it, whether you make money or not. And that's why David gives away David Allen Capital for free, because he wants to be able to rest well knowing that he's provided an opportunity and you can get trained and plug in and do what you need to do here without him charging you money and him making money, whether you make money or not. So that's just how the program goes. And I love Eric's stuff, but he's a great salesman and he will take every penny that you're willing to spend on his promotional stuff. All right, everybody have a great evening. We'll see you on the Wednesday Zoom at 11:30 with Wade Cordell and our funding training. Good night, everyone. Take care.